It's Merger Wednesday. The countdown continues. 7 years until the convergence of biology and machine. Neural interfaces are no longer theory, they're the scaffolding of a new consciousness. But what does that mean for identity? For free will, for the soul? This is where we build the frameworks for ethical, philosophical, and spiritual growth for the next phase of human evolution. We're not just upgrading hardware. We're rewriting what it means to be human. Each week, we explore the biotech breakthroughs, decode the cognitive shifts, and prepare the mind for the merge. This isn't about fear, it's about readiness. Because the future isn't waiting. It's already wiring in. This is about preparing human consciousness for the most significant leap in our species' history. If you think this is just about chips and brains, you're not ready. But we'll get you there, one Wednesday at a time. So sit back and relax as we take you on a journey on Merger Wednesday.
Welcome to Wednesday edition of the Final Boss Podcast. Merger Wednesday, episode number 2. Episode number 2 of Merger Wednesday. Episode number 161 of the Final Boss Podcast. Right? Episode number 161. On our way to episode number 200. And if you're joining us for the first time, thank you. And to each and every last single one of you around the world, no matter where you're watching from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Merger Wednesdays. And on this special Wednesday, as many are celebrating the holidays, happy holidays to you, and Merry Christmas Eve to a lot of you as we go into Christmas tomorrow as the new year 2026 approaches. Thank you for each and every last single one of you for all the comments and emails that you continuously provide. If you don't have our email address and you would like to send us an email, you can email us at info@thefinalbosspodcast.com. That's info@thefinalbosspodcast.com. Make sure you go like, share, subscribe, all of our content, no matter where you see us at, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitch, Kick, or for your audio listening pleasures, Spotify, and I keep saying it, soon come, Apple Podcasts, right? Look, if you haven't, and I'm going to spin you up, make sure you go grab Go Time, all aboard the Fired Up Train. All aboard the Fired Up Train. I dropped the link yesterday. I'll drop it again tonight in this broadcast. Make sure you go pick that up. That's our first novel. Well, not novel, but it's a motivation manuscript workbook that'll get you right, change your life. Make sure you go pick that up. Go Time, all aboard the Fired Up Train at all of your current book buying outlets and resources. Tonight, we're going to be talking about something very heavy, right? Something that a lot of people aren't prepared for. I wasn't prepared for it either when I started doing my whole research. As a matter of fact, hey Chikandi, hey Papa, how you guys doing tonight? As I was preparing and doing the research for this new segment of a show, I was not prepared for the information that I stumbled upon, and that's already readily available. And like last week, I will be dropping references and resources so you guys can go follow and read and check your own content to find your own truth in regarding this matter, right? So I know a lot of you are asking or wondering or have questions about what's flowing through your veins right now, Final Boss community. I know you guys are asking this, right? You believe and think is just blood. Red cells, white cells, uh, platelets, the stuff that you read in your textbooks, right? The biology textbook version. That's what you believe is in your blood, right? You think it's just blood, right? But what if I told you that within the next 36 months, right? The liquid circulating through your blood could be carrying microscopic machines, right? Nanobots, smaller than your red blood cells, right? Computing power in every drop, sensors monitoring every chemical reaction, communication devices transmitting data from inside your organs to external systems. This isn't science fiction. This is smart blood. And it's the biological foundation of the merge. Now, for those just now joining us, welcome to Merger Wednesdays, episode number 2, episode number 161 of the Final Boss podcast. And I am the Final Boss. And tonight we're going to go deep into the circulatory circulatory highway that would carry artificial intelligence directly into your brain, your organs, and your cells. Last week, we opened the door. Tonight, we step through it. As always, every episode, all 5 shows, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all live at 9 p.m. The train, right, is leaving the station, and tonight's destination, the inside of your own body, right? But before we dive into the science, let me set the stage up properly. Right? To my smarts, to my motivators, to my warriors, to my final bosses, right? I'm glad y'all enjoyed the train. I love the train, right? Such a great metaphor. But, right? Tonight on Merger Wednesday, this is our weekly dive into, and for those who don't know what Merger Wednesday is, this is our weekly dive into a consciousness merger between biological humans and artificial intelligence. This isn't speculation, this is preparation. Episode 1, I introduced the merge concept. Episode 2, right here, right now, we're going to be focusing on smart blood, the biological delivery system that makes everything else possible. And interesting enough, as I was doing research on this the other day, I took a break to flip through my cable channels, and lo and behold, what do I find? I find the last James Bond movie, No Time to Die, which is a great film. And that film was about smart blood, right? So, again, science fiction? I think not. And this episode right here is for my smarts. My smarts who want the technical details, for my warriors, right? Who need to understand the battlefield. And for my motivators who will help others navigate this transition. And for the final bosses, of course, who refuse to be caught unprepared. We're going our usual time, 60 minutes, 15 full segments, right? No fluff, all substance. And the fired up train you just heard is rolling through. Now, let's start with definitions because precision matters. Smart blood is not a single technology. It's a category of biotech that refers to blood enhanced microscopic devices, right? Primarily known as nanobots that can monitor, repair, enhance, and communicate within the human body. Think of your blood as transportation systems. Think about that right now, right? It carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones, immune cells, basic biological cargo. Smart blood adds a technological layer. Nanobots nanobots that are measured in nanometers, billionths of a meter, right? Circulating alongside your cells. These aren't just passengers, these are workers. They're sensors, they're communicators, they're repair crews. Stay with me. You just got here. Don't you go nowhere. Don't you go nowhere. Stay right here. Stay right there. Stay with me, right? I'm talking to you. The research has multiple names: nano robotics, blood-borne nanomachines, injectable neural interfaces, vascular computing systems. But the concept is the same, right? Turning your circulatory system into smart networks. Here's what makes smart blood the biological layer of the merge. First is access. Your blood reaches everywhere, every organ, every tissue, every cell. It crosses the blood-brain barrier naturally. If you want to integrate technology into the human body at scale, blood is the highway. Second, monitoring, right? Smart blood provides real-time data from inside your body: glucose levels, hormone balance, inflammation markers, cancer cells, neural activity, everything across the board. And third, the delivery. Need to repair damaged tissue? Smart blood carries the tools. Need to enhance brain function? Smart blood delivers the payload. Need to interface with external AI? Smart blood provides the connection. This is why smart blood isn't just another medical innovation, it's the foundation of human AI merger. And final bosses, it's already in development. It's already in development. Now, you know I come with the receipts, right? You know I come with the receipts. So let me give you the receipts. This isn't theory anymore, people. This is what's happening. DARPA, right? DARPA and Vivo Nano Platforms, or IVN programs, which was started in 2014. They had an objective. That objective was to develop nanotechnology that could be injected into soldiers to monitor health, enhance performance in real time. They're not hiding this, it's public record. It's the same thing that they were showing on the movie No Time to Die. And actually, it was more than once occurrence. It was on several James Bond movies, right? MIT's injectable mesh electronics published an article in Nature and Nanotech where scientists created a flexible electronic mesh that can be ejected through a needle that unfolds inside the body and integrates with tissue. It's already been tested in mice, monitoring brain activity from inside neural tissue, right? And of course, you have CRISPR. If you aren't familiar with CRISPR, go do your research on CRISPR, right? CRISPR has the capabilities of carrying nanobots. UC San Diego researchers developed DNA nanobots that can navigate the bloodstream and deliver gene editing tools to specific cells. That article was published in 2018, right? At the time, they were targeting cancer cells, right? The delivery system works for anything of their choosing, whoever is programming it, right? And then, of course, you have smart dust technology, which is a very old technology, right? UC Berkeley's work on wireless sensors smaller than a grain of sand, right? That's what smart dust is. You can measure temperature, pressure, chemicals, and transmit data. Now imagine these in your bloodstream. Google's Project Baseline, while not purely nanotech, because Google is working on diagnostic nanoparticles that can detect cancer and other diseases by circulating through blood and binding into disease cells. They glow under certain lights, making them detectable externally, right? Now, how many of you have had MRI? You think this technology doesn't exist? How many of you have had an MRI? Right? Right? How many of you before the MRI know that you have to take a contrast that they inject in you, right? They inject this contrast and you feel it, it warms in your body and it looks blue under the MRI machine so they can see all your veins, right? Now, what makes you think that this technology doesn't exist? Contrast is old. It's injectable liquid that you get in your body before you get an MRI. Now, what makes you think this doesn't exist? Go do your research, people. Go do your research. Check it out. China has been developing something for their social credit biometrics, and they've already integrated health monitoring into their social credit system, right? What's the next step? Internal monitoring through smart blood that reports health compliance, drug use, and even emotional states. These aren't proposals. These are active programs with published research, patent applications with funding. The technology exists. The question isn't if, the question is when and under whose terms. Now, right? Now, let's talk about how this actually works inside of your body. Your blood is approximately 55% plasma and 45% cells. Red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. A typical human has about 5 liters of blood. That blood circulates completely through your body every 60 seconds. Smart blood nanobots need to operate in this environment without triggering immune rejection, clotting, or toxicity. That's challenge number one. And it's largely been solved through biocompatible materials. Carbon nanotubes, graphene, biosilicone, polymer coatings that mimic natural proteins. The size question, right? Red blood cells are about 6 to 8 micrometers. Nanobots in development range from 100 nanometers to 10 micrometers. They're small enough to travel through your veins, right? Cross into tissues and even penetrate the blood-brain barrier. You wondering about the power source for these nanobots? Early generations use chemical power, drawing energy from glucose and oxygen in blood, just like your cells do, right? Advanced versions use piezoelectric materials that generate power from blood flow itself. Some use wireless power transfer from external devices. Nanobots communicate through molecular signals, ultrasound, magnetic fields, or RF signals. Your body becomes a network. Each nanobot is a node, and together they form a mesh network transmitting data in real time. Now, I mentioned the blood-brain barrier, right? I mentioned that a few times tonight. So let's talk about it. This is crucial for the merge. The brain is protected by the blood-brain barrier. It filters what enters from your bloodstream, but certain nanobots can cross it by mimicking natural transport mechanisms or by temporarily opening transport channels, right? Once smart blood reaches your brain, it can interface directly with neurons, monitor electrical activity, deliver chemicals, even stimulate specific neural pathways. Your circulatory system becomes the interface between your biological consciousness and external AI systems. That's not enhancement, that's merger. And here's how they're going to sell it to you. Here's how they're going to sell it to you, right? Smart blood has legitimate medical applications that will save lives. That's what makes this so complicated, right? Nanobots that patrol your bloodstream, identify cancer cells by unique protein markers, and destroy them or mark them for immune system targeting. This could eliminate chemotherapy. Early trials are already showing promise. Right? Nanobots that detect arterial plaques and break them down before they cause heart attacks or strokes. Those devices can unclog arteries from the inside. This technology could eliminate the #1 killer in America, right? And think about this. Real-time glucose monitoring from the inside your bloodstream with automatic insulin delivery. No more fingerprints, pricks, no more insulin pumps, nanobots that regulate blood sugar automatically. Chemotherapy that only hits cancer cells. Antibiotics that only attack specific bacteria. Pain medication that only affects injured tissue. Massive reduction in side effects. Nanobots can repair damaged neurons, restore connections after stroke or traumatic brain injury, potentially reverse neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. These benefits are real. The research is legitimate. The applications will be life-changing for millions of people. And that's exactly why smart blood will achieve mass adoption. You won't resist it because it will heal your child's cancer. You won't question it because it will save your father from a heart attack. You won't fight it because it would cure diseases that have plagued humanity for years. The medical necessity is the Trojan horse, and it's what carrying the technological control past your very defenses. And final bosses, once smart blood is normalized for medical use, the expansions into enhancement, monitoring, and control becomes inevitable. This is not conspiracy, people. That's trajectory, right? And let me speak on something that's near and dear to my heart. Let me speak to you as a veteran with 17 years of service. Let me speak to you as a person who served in a civilian capacity for 23 years, federal service. I also served in 2 combat theaters, Iraq and Afghanistan. I've seen how military technology becomes civilian technology. And I'm telling you, the military is always involved in the latest and greatest technology before it becomes civilian technology, right? DARPA stated objectives for smart blood some time ago. They decided that they were going to give initiatives for real-time health monitoring of soldiers in combat, right? monitoring heart rate, blood oxygen, stress hormones, injury detection, all transmitted to command in real time. If a soldier was injured, right? Command knows about it before the soldier reports it. This also has performance enhancement capabilities. Nanobots that can regulate adrenaline, reduce fatigue, enhance oxygen, deliver more oxygen to muscles and brain when needed. Soldiers who can operate longer, faster, harder without degradation, right? The next use, rapid medical responses. Nanobots that can clot wounds instantly, deliver battlefield medications, keep soldiers alive until medical assistance arrives, right? Then let's talk about neurointerfacing, direct brain to computer communication. Soldiers controlling drones through thought, receiving tactical data directly into their visual cortex, enhance reaction times through neurostimulation. This isn't speculation. This is in the budget documents. This is in the research branch. This is in the patent applications. The military wants smart blood because it creates super soldiers, soldiers who can't hide injuries, soldiers who perform beyond normal human limits, soldiers who can interface directly with weapon systems and battlefield networks. And here's the pattern. Final bosses, military tech always migrates to civilian use. GPS systems started in the military, right? Drones started in the military. Smart blood would start in the military. Within a decade, it would be in first responders, then elite athletes, then executives who need performance edges, then college students who want better grades, then everyone, right? Then everyone. The military is building the technology. The medical industry will normalize it. The corporate world will commercialize it. And surveillance state will weaponize it. That's the playbook. It's already in motion. And it's the playbook that is to everything. Everything you know follows this same playbook. Now, let's get to the part that you should have concerns about, right? Because smart blood has a surveillance system built in. Why wouldn't it? Once you have technology circulating through your bloodstream that can monitor and transmit data, you have the ultimate surveillance device. One that can't be removed, can't be turned off, and can't be detected by you, the skin, right? It can't be detected by you. And here's what smart blood can monitor. It can monitor your physical location. Nanobots can serve as GPS trackers from inside your body. Your health metrics, every hormone, every chemical, every vital sign continuously. Your drug use, illegal and illegal substances detected in real time. Your emotional state, stress hormones, nanotransmitter levels, arousal markers. Your reproductive status, including pregnancy, fertility, and hormone cycles. Your sleep patterns, your diet, your activity levels, your social interactions based on proximity to others with smart blood. And here's the crucial part. Your brain activity, neural patterns that correlate with thoughts, emotions, intentions, and memories. This data doesn't stay in your body. It transmits to medical databases, to insurance companies, to employees, to government agencies, to AI systems that analyze and predict behavior. China, right now, is already building this system. They're building their new social credit system that monitors behavior. Smart blood will monitor biology, combine them, and you have total surveillance, external and internal. Insurance companies will demand it. Lower premiums if you allow continuous health monitoring. Higher rates if you opt out. Eventually, no coverage without it. And employers will incentivize, right? Productivity monitoring, stress management, wellness programs that require real-time biological data. And get this, right? Of course, there's going to be a law enforcement mandate for it, right? Parolees first, then sex offenders, then anyone accused of certain crimes, then everyone for, guess right, public safety. Public safety. The progression is predictable because we've seen it with every surveillance technology. This stuff is nothing new, people. It's a repeat. I say it's a repeat model that they constantly use, and it always ends with your security and you giving up your rights for that same security. First is voluntary, then it's incentivized, then it's required for certain groups, then it becomes universal, right? And final bosses, smart blood makes surveillance invisible. You can avoid cameras all day long. You can encrypt communications. You can use cash, but you can't avoid your own bloodstream. Now, one of my favorite topics when it comes to tech, AI, and all things on the final boss, ethics, right? Dun, 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 dun. Ethics. Because this is where most people hope someone is protecting them. And I'm here to tell you they're not. Stay with me. Don't you go nowhere. I'm talking to you. Stay right there. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. This is information to get you prepared. It's nothing to fear. The ethical questions, right? If smart blood becomes standard medical treatment, can you refuse it? Right? That's question number one. What if it's the only treatment for your condition? Question number two. What if insurance won't cover alternatives? Question number three. What if employers require it? That sounds familiar. Is that really consent? Right? And then let's talk about privacy. Who owns the data from your smart blood? Is it the manufacturer? Is it your doctor? Is it the insurance company? Is it the gov? Is it you? What happens when the data is hacked or subpoenaed? If smart blood can enhance cognitive function, physical performance, emotional regulation, who gets the access? Is it the rich? Is it the military? Is it everyone? What happens to those who can't afford it or refuse it? Right? Now, let's talk about something that's a sensitive subject, no matter what it is, when we bring it or put it into and bring it to perspective. Let's talk about children, right? When do parents have the right to give children smart blood? That makes me think of something else, like vaccines when you're born, or having to do birth certificates on the spot, or a numerous of things for newborns, right? Makes you wonder, is it at birth? Is it before birth? What about children who can't consent? I guess that's something to ask, right? What about enhancement versus medical necessity? If smart blood becomes permanent, nanobots that replicate or can't be filtered out, what happens if you want them removed? What if they malfunction? What if you happen to change your mind? Right? Here's the reality. These ethical questions are being discussed in academic journals and ethics boards right now. But if you're not stopping development, you're not creating regulations, and they're not protecting your rights. The technology is moving faster than ethics. The military is funding it. The medical industry is developing it. The corporate sector is commercializing it. And by the time the ethical frameworks are established, the technology will already be deployed. You'll be making decisions about smart blood, not in the abstract, but with a doctor telling you it's the only treatment for your child, or an employer telling you it's required for you to have a job, or the government telling you is mandatory for public health. Ethics without enforcement is just philosophy. And right now, there's no enforcement, no regulation, no protection, just continuous, constant momentum. Now, let me give you the timeline, because this isn't decades away. This is years, months, in some cases, right? Had to pause and think about that. So, what year are we currently in for the next 2 weeks? We're in 2025. Let me tell you what's been developed in 2025. Multiple smart blood technologies in animal trials, some in human clinical trials for specific medical applications. DARPA has been funding multiple programs with military deployment targets. Private companies developing commercial applications. No comprehensive regulation in place as of now. Let's move on, because in 2 weeks, we will be in 2026. And for 2026 to 2027, first, FDA approvals for specific medical uses like cancer detection and diabetes management are on the way. Military field testing in controlled environments, 2027, 26, 27. Insurance companies beginning pilot programs for monitoring, also 26, 27. First consumer health devices incorporating blood-based nanosensors, 26, 27. All that is in the next year. Now, let's look at 2027 to 2028. Expansion of approved medical uses. First non-medical enhancement applications marketed to athletes and executives. Major tech companies announcing smart blood platforms. First mandatory uses, likely military, then certain medical conditions, 2027, 2028. Now, let's move out further. Let's talk about 2028 and 2030. Widespread medical adoption. Consumer market explosion in fitness, cognitive enhancement for longevity. They're already talking about this stuff, people. You got to read between the lines. 2028 is only 2 years away. 2030, 4 years away. Insurance and employment insensitive incentive programs, right? Which will become standard, right? First, legal challenges over mandatory use and discrimination. Integration with AI systems for health management and prediction. And by 2030, from 2030 to 2032, smart blood becomes standard of care for many conditions. Majority of the developed world's population has some form of blood-based monitoring. There will be full integration with consciousness, merger technologies, direct neural interfacing, and social economic pressure makes refused increasingly difficult. That's 7 years in the making. Final boss is 7 years from experimental to a framework that is reality, right? And for context, let me give you this example for context, right? The iPhone, a lot of you iPhone carriers and iPhone lovers, Apple product people. That's not me. I'm an Android guy. For context, iPhone launched in 2007. iPhone launched in 2007. By 2014, smartphones were ubiquitous, and that was 7 years. Let's talk about social media. Social media was a niche market in 2005. By 2012, 7 years, it dominated global communication, right? The adoption curve for transformative technology is exponential. And smart bloods have something smartphones and social media didn't. It will be medically necessary for millions of people. This creates adoption momentum that's almost impossible to resist. You don't have decades to decide how you feel about this. You have maybe 3 years before you're making real decisions with real consequences, right? Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Because I know you're all thinking about it. Can you resist this? Can you? Right? And here's the honest answer. Partially, temporarily, but not indefinitely. And here's why. It's like all things, right? Here's why. It's going to start in the beginning with medical pressure. If smart blood cures cancer, prevents heart disease, manages chronic conditions better than anything else, are you really going to watch your loved ones suffer when treatment is available? Then, that's the medical pressure. Then there's economic pressure. If insurance is cheaper with monitoring, if employers prefer or require it, if enhanced workers if enhanced workers outcompete natural workers, how long can you afford to abstain? All right? That's economic pressure. And then there's always social pressure. If everyone around you is connected, enhanced, and monitored, if opting out makes you unemployable, uninsurable, undateable, how long can you maintain that position? Right? And then that was social pressure. And here's the legal pressure behind it. Once smart blood is proven to prevent disease, reduce healthcare costs, improve public safety, governments will have compelling reasons to mandate it. Just like vaccines, just like seatbelts, personal choice becomes public health issue. But here's what you can do, right? Here's what you can do. Number one, stay informed. Understand the technology. Read the research. Know what's being developed. Know what's being deployed. You can't make good decisions from a place of ignorance. Number two, demand transparency. When smart blood products come to market, demand to know exactly what they do, what data they collect, who has access, and what the terms of service actually mean. And number three, support regulation. Push for laws that protect your rights. Consent to requirements, data ownership, removal options, limits on mandatory use. This needs to happen now before deployment. And number four, make conscious choices. Decide in advance what your boundaries are, what you will accept for medical necessity versus what you reject for enhancement or monitoring. Having principles before you're in crisis makes you a better decision maker. And number five, build alternative systems, right? Support healthcare. employment, and social systems that don't require technological integration. They'll be niche for a time, but they also need to exist. The reality is that the complete resistance probably isn't viable, but conscious, informed, strategic engagement is viable. You don't have to be an early adopter. You don't have to accept every application. You don't have to surrender all privacy and autonomy, but you do have to engage with this reality, because pretending it's not happening won't protect you. The merge, right? The merge. It's happening. Now, let's connect this to the bigger picture. Let's connect it to the bigger picture. And what's the bigger picture? The bigger picture is the merge. Because smart blood isn't just about health monitoring or physical enhancement. It's the biological infrastructure for consciousness merger between humans and AI. And here's how it works. Step one, you're going to have biological integration. Smart blood becomes normal. Medical applications, performance enhancement, continuous monitoring. Your body accepts technological augmentation as standard. Step number two, neural interface. Smart blood crosses the blood-brain barrier. Nanobots attached to neurons monitor electrical activity, deliver neurotransmitters, stimulate specific brain regions. Your brain becomes a read-write device. Step three, your neural activity translates into data. That data flows to external AI systems. Those systems analyze patterns, predict thoughts, suggest actions. Your consciousness begins interfacing with artificial intelligence. And step number four, you don't just send data to AI. AI sends information back directly into your neural tissue. Thoughts that aren't yours, but feels like yours. Memories that were downloaded, skills that were uploaded, knowledge that appeared without learning. The boundary between biological consciousness and artificial intelligence dissolves. Your thoughts enhanced by AI processing, your decisions informed by AI analysis, your identity augmented by AI integration. You become a hybrid consciousness, part human, part machine, indistinguishable from each. Smart blood is the delivery system that makes all of this possible. Without smart blood, you need external devices, helmets, implants, surgical procedures. With smart blood, you need an injection. Now, one is invasive, obvious, resistible. The other is routine, invisible, inevitable. That's why smart blood is the most important technology in the merge. It's the key that unlocks biological technological integration at scale. And my final bosses, my smarts, my warriors, my motivators, is being built right now. The infrastructure is being built, not as science fiction, as medical technology, as military enhancement, as a consumer product, right? The merger isn't coming, it's here. Smart blood is biological layer, and you're living through its deployment. Now, let's talk about preparation, because whether you embrace this or you resist it, you need to be ready. You need to be ready. And this is what the Final Boss is all about. We have the most difficult conversations right here on the Final Boss. We talk about things that nobody else is talking about. We get you informed so you could be well informed to make decisions about whether you will or whether you won't, right? Let's talk about Go Time, right? Let's pivot for a second. Let's talk about Go Time. It's my book, Go Time, All Aboard the Fired Up Train. It's a motivation workbook. Would change your life, right? And I took the premise of looking at motivation from not as energy, but from a point of discipline, as discipline is the destination through discipline architecture, right? And frameworks that I've developed. I've taught you in this book the 6 pillars of success: motivation, sacrifice, consistency, perseverance, persistence, resilience. Those pillars don't change in the merge, right? It's about how you apply them that does. And here's how. Motivation is your why, because you become more critical than ever because you have the information readily available. Are you accepting smart blood for medical necessity, enhancement, social pressure? Know your motivation clearly. Weak motivation in this space leads to regret. Do you guys remember a time where it wasn't mandatory for seatbelts, and then it became mandatory for seatbelts? When they were deploying the major vaccine to the medical issues that were global back in 2019, people lost their jobs because of it, right? You have to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up? Privacy for health, autonomy for performance, natural consciousness for augmented capability. These aren't abstract questions anymore. Define your boundaries now. Consistency. Stay informed consistently. This technology is evolving monthly. What's true today changes tomorrow. Consistent education is your defense against manipulation. Perseverance. Resisting pressure. Medical, economic, social requires perseverance. Standing by your principles when everyone around you is integrating requires strength. Build that strength now. Persistence. Whether you adopt early, late, or never, persist in advocating for your rights. Be consistent. Be consistent. Consent, privacy, anatomy, removal. These rights won't protect themselves. And through resilience, the world is changing faster than human psychology. It's changing faster than human psychology, right? Resilience isn't just about bouncing back anymore. It's adapting to continuous transformation while maintaining core identity. That skill is what you need most. You apply these same pillars, the 6 pillars of success, to the merge. Understand the technology, define your boundaries, make informed choices, advocate for protections, adopt strategically, maintain your core. You can't stop this train, final bosses, but you can decide how you ride it. Conscious and prepared, or unconscious and controlled. The fired up train doesn't stop for anyone, but it has different classes. It has different seats. It has different destinations. You must choose yours deliberately. And here's tonight's brass tacks, right? I usually speak on the brass tacks in the beginning of the segment, but I decided tonight that for merger, I was going to bring it at the end. And here it is. And I want you to really hear this. The most powerful form of control is the one you choose for yourself, believing it's freedom. I'm going to say that again. The most powerful form of control is the one you choose for yourself, believing it's freedom. Let that sink in. Smart blood will be marketed as freedom. Freedom from disease, freedom from limitation, freedom to enhance yourself, optimize yourself, connect yourself. And some of that is true. The capabilities are real. The benefits are legitimate. But here's the brass tacks truth about that. When you inject technology into your bloodstream that can monitor your thoughts, influence your emotions, and transmit your data, that's not freedom, that's control with better interface. The genius of smart blood as control system is that you will pay for it. You'll line up for it. You will defend it, and you will defend it against anyone who questions it. Because it will heal your child. It will enhance your performance. It will give you advantages because everyone else is also doing it. You will choose your own integration and you'll call it progress. I'm telling you to reject it. I'm telling you to see it clearly. Technology is never neural. It serves someone else's interests. The question is whose? When you make decisions about smart blood, and you will make those decisions, final bosses, hear me out. Make them with eyes wide open. I can't believe I left those labels on the entire show. I did. I apologize for that. I apologize for that, right? Understand what you're gaining if you do this. Understand what you're trading when you do this. Understanding the benefits, because the merge isn't happening to you. You're choosing it one injection at a time. Make sure those choices serve you, not just someone else's agenda for you. That's brass tacks. That's truth. That's reality. And that's what this podcast is for. We've covered a lot of information tonight, final bosses, motivators, warriors, and my smarts. And let me bring it on home, right? Because smart blood is real. It's in development. It's being funded by military programs, medical research, and corporate investment. Within 3 to 5 years, you will be available. It will be available to you commercially. Within 7 years, it will be common. This is the biological layer of the merge, the foundation of human AI consciousness integration, the delivery system that turns your body into a network node and your brain into a real real-time interface. You can't stop it. You cannot stop it, but you can prepare for it. You're hungry before next Wednesday's episode, right? Research smart blood technology that I mentioned tonight. Research DARPA IVN. Research MIT injectable mesh. Research CRISPR nanobots. Smart dust activity that actually reads the papers, right? That can see the evidence. Research. Number 2, define your personal boundaries. What would you accept smart blood for? What would you reject it for? Write it down. Having principles on paper makes them real. And number 3, smart conversations. Start having these smart conversations with your family, with your friends, with the community. This isn't happening in isolation. These decisions we make collectively, they shape our world that we create today. And number 4, follow the money. Who's funding the smart blood research? Who's filing patents? Who's lobbying for reduced regulation? Understanding incentives reveals agendas, right? And join us again on next Wednesday for Merger Wednesdays, which is December 31st. We're going to be covering episode number 3, the neural lace, the brain-computer interface. We're going deeper into the neural integration layer, how AI connects directly to your neurons, how thoughts become data, how consciousness becomes the merge. The train keeps moving, people. The train keeps moving. The final bosses, motivators, smarts, warriors, you guys know this, but we're not passengers anymore. We're chess masters. You see the board. You understand the game. You make informed moves. And for my smarts, to my warriors, to my motivators, and my final boss, stay fired up, guys. Stay informed. Stay conscious. I am the Final Boss. This has been the Final Boss podcast. You can join us on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. live. We're not just surviving the merge. We're navigating it with precision, purpose, and power. You people, you. I will see you again next Wednesday for Merger Wednesday. Same time, same place, different layer of the merger. And until then, stay sharp, stay human, stay boss. And by the way, I may or may not present tomorrow for special guest Thursday. I haven't decided yet. It's a game time choice, as tomorrow is Christmas. And Merry Christmas to each and every last single one of you. And happy holidays to all those out there who are listening. No matter where you are and where you're tuning in from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Oh, I promised, as promised, a few references and research publications so you guys can go check this information out. DARPA in vivo nanoplatforms, IVN. Check that out. Nature nanotechnology, syringe injectable electronics. An article that was written in 2015. Go check that out. UC San Diego, nano DNA nanobots. That article was written in 2017. MIT Technology Review, smart blood coverage, technologyreview.com. Smart Dust, UC Berkeley, MEMS Research, Chris Keister's research group. Those are just some of the resources that I've used for this show tonight. And as always, good people, be balanced, be equal, and be smart. This has been Merger Wednesday for the Final Boss Podcast. I am the Final Boss. And let's continue to get ready to get on the fired up train. Y'all have a great night. Merry Christmas to each and every last one of you. And happy holidays.